Good morning once again, and this is Steve. Let's see, let's just define the professional tarot reader, because one time I paid myself $1, which made me a professional. I got a little bit of criticism for that because it was part of the somebody's code. Somebody had a tarot code that was in their nose, and they got a little stuffed up, and they felt like they should be following the rules of the gypsies. And I don't know that there's a matrix, a thought form of what it is to be a gypsy, and yeah, I've done a little bit of kind of minor delving into the gypsy thing. Like I went on the road a year ago this time for the West Coast swing of the professional disc golf tour, and I took my tarot books and I set up a little table, and I gave people readings that people that wandered by during the tournament, during lulls in the tournament. I gave tarot readings. I was actually questioned by the actual representatives of the tournament in terms of what I thought I was doing. And I wasn't charging for it, so I was just, people wandered up and saw the tarot book and wanted to have a reading. I would just give it to them. So I've only charged once, so I've only, I guess, maybe crossed over the gypsy code line one time, but I paid myself, and it was with my own dollars, so there was no kind of, it wasn't like selling my soul for $1. I don't think it was. I'm hoping it wasn't, because I'm hoping hoping I get more for my soul than $1. But really, when I think about it, it's like probably not. Probably that's the going rate for people who are willing to sell their souls. They're not offering much because there's just so many people that have possibly attempted to sell their soul and failed at it, and maybe that some of those are now wanting to get their soul back. But I think getting your soul back is harder than selling it in the first place. Kind of like a good guitar, which I'm considering selling. You're like, oh, I didn't know you were a guitarist, and I'm like, I don't think I'm a guitarist. 50 years of over 50 years. I'm probably close to 60 years. I'm probably 60 years. I think I probably started around 12, so 61 years of playing guitar somewhat poorly is my perception. I played with some friends who were actually professional guitarists, and if you got a professional guitarist playing with you, you can sound all right in the background, just going whatever. But anyway, this is making this much longer than I was planning, and it's going to be hot in here because I have to have the doors closed because the neighbors have cut down a dead tree, and today is the day that the chainsaw crew is cutting it up, probably for firewood. So so maybe I ought to just kind of get on with it. Okay, so I'm going to get on with it, and I'm going to kind of arrange things here a little bit. We got a bonus card today. So from the higher realms, we were just talking about this last night because I was trying to remember. So it's the Three of Wands. We got, in the Celtic cross, there's 5 cards. 4 of the cards, the top part of the cross, were all wands, which is creativity. The bottom one was a disc. So we're going to start with the top. which is the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands, so this is the top of the Celtic cross, and this is the information from the simple question, what would it be useful for us to be considering relative to our relation to the all? Pretty simple question, really. And so what we got back was the Three of Wands, which is symbolized by the quality of virtue or integrity. Integrity, and I love this. I've been thinking about this. So we got this a month or more ago, 2 months ago, but I've been thinking about it and I couldn't remember which card it was. Integrity, so it's the Three of Wands. Integrity is the union of mind, heart, and action. So you've heard me talk about that. I'm really taking that in. Integrity is the union of mind, heart, and action. When we're aligned in our mind and our heart, and our actions are aligned with our mind and our heart, which are aligned, and we take action, we are streaming the higher realms through us. We're taking actions that relate to the creation of the new world that we're all moving into. Some of us, I can speak for myself, some of us may feel like we have one foot on the gas and the other foot on the brake. It's like, and as opposed to just like taking your foot off the brake and just applying it gently to the gas. But anyway, this feeling has been here for my whole life. If I'm going to just be impeccable with my word, my whole life, I feel like I've been moving forward, but kind of dragging the past along with me. So it's like, when they used to, back in the, who knows if any of them were good old days. It's all your perception. So let's just say back in the good old days where they used to tie metal cans, onto the back of the car or vehicle in which the bride and groom were going off for their honeymoon. Somebody would have gone in and tied all these cans to the back, so when they drove off for their honeymoon, it was like clack, 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 clack. Those were just other days. There are parts of those days that seemed good, and there were parts of those days that seemed maybe not as good, just like now. So I think I'm going to leave that. Integrity is the union of mind, heart, and action working in concert with each other, and also in concert with the all that is. Good enough. That's a good start. I yabbered on fairly quickly early on. So the next card is from the earth. And from the earth, so how can we serve the earth? And we got the Princess of Discs, which hopefully won't be too hard to find because there were so many wands. Here we go. So I think I showed it to you, but I'm going to show it to you again. The Princess of Discs. She has a disc in her hands. And for what we're being asked, I think and just today I began to think in terms of before I asked, I was thinking in terms of what is your message to us? How might we best make the changes that we're making that kind of serves the larger picture of things? And and so I think however we ask the universe or the earth itself, um, whatever we ask, however we ask it, what can we do to help in what's going on right now? And that would be the construct of change yourself, it changes the world. So the Princess of Discs is the card we got for the base from the earth. And the Princess of Disc is the pregnant lady who represents mastery of creative power. So I think we're being called to become masters of our creative power by aligning our minds, our hearts with our action. So using our minds and our hearts in terms of our creativity, so we're matching the artistry that's already going on in the universe with all these divine beings working in harmony, working together to allow a place to emerge that is on a higher level of consciousness and development. So that's the picture. So the Princess of Disc represents the mastery of creative power. She's been over the volcano and through the briar patch, and she bears new life that has been gestating and incubating within her for some time. Could be 13,000 years, could be through the whole 13,000 year patriarchal cycle that we're coming out of. And we're going into, maybe we would call it the matriarchal cycle, where kind of feminine consciousness is going to be surrounding the planet as masculine consciousness surrounded the planet before. So she is fertile and abundant with either a new identity, lifestyle, creative project, or human being. So she is inviting us to become masters of creativity and to birth new forms for the world. That's enough for that. And then of the 5 cards that we pulled, 4 were for our wands. And so what we have been working with already up to this point is the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is the mastery of vision and vitality. So if you have the vision, if you have some vision for the future, for the world that you would like to live in, but you have no vitality to bring that vision into reality, then you can really work with what we got, I think, yesterday, which was exercise, which is the really giving the physical body what it needs so it has the physical strength to work with this creative process we're all involved in, which is changing the world we live in. So this card relates to what we've been working with, is the mastery of our vision and our vitality. So the Knight of Wands is committed to the principle of spiritual growth and evolution. This is the visionary, an energetic knight who is unwilling to edit, rehearse, or hold back any part of who she is. Rides the unicorn horse, which is a symbol of vision and inspiration that has purpose and application. And I think he has the ability to shed old beliefs and to honor the changing perceptions he has of himself and others, which is symbolized by the reptilian suit that he wears. Yeah. He charges forward, eager to share perceptions and insights which can assist deep changes internally and externally. And keep in mind the balance that we're looking to achieve, whereas who we are inside is what we see outside. And that's really a beautiful balance, that it has to do with our alignment of our head, our heart, and our action, our inside, our outside, and our action, and how we affect the world that we live in. Yeah, powerful. Okay, so that was the Knight of Wands, and then what we're working with currently is the Princess of Wands, which is the mastery of spontaneous expression and liberation. So I said in the Mayan card reading, this is in the lunar tones, this is the 11th tone, the 11th month of the 13 months. And this is the month, the spectral lunar month of liberation. And already we've had 2 days, because they occur every 13 days. So you get to number 11, which is spectral liberation, and then you get to 11 again, which is spectral liberation. So you get these things oftentimes twice in a month. I don't think ever 3 times, but I'm not sure. But anyway, here we are having, what we're working with right now is the mastery of spontaneous expression and liberation. So we're in the month of liberation. We've had 2 days of liberation. We're liberating our consciousness to be open to a new consciousness that is emerging through us as we're connected to this higher realm, and it comes in, we discover ourselves anew. We are feeling we're being invited up to be a new person in a new world. A little bit like the book Stranger in a Strange Land. You just gotta grok it. Okay, and you might want to read that book. It's really good. I'm going to read it again. I think I'm going to get it, see if I can download it from the library onto my Kindle. Easy to carry around, lightweight. Okay. Princess of Wands is the mastery of internal blocks, obstacles, and obstructions. Boy, oh boy, have I been feeling those. You know, I know as a person who's supposedly an influencer on YouTube, you'd think I'd be the one that's like, yeah, just do it, And that's not me. I'm into doing it, but I'm into maybe aligning myself with the people who just are finding themselves not being able to say, just do it, and then just do it. Maybe I'm most aligned with the people like, dang, this is pretty darn hard. And if you align with that, then we're heart siblings, This is hard work. This life for me has been hard work. And through that hard work, I feel like I've grown, I've changed, I'm pretty happy overall with who I have become, but not necessarily every day. And some days I'm just aware of internal blocks, obstacles, and obstructions. That might be today, the day of liberation. I'm liberating a lot on the 16th of May, hopefully liberating it. Okay, she has the tiger by the tail, and in the Chinese, astrology or whatever it is you get in the Chinese, placemats in the Chinese restaurants, I'm a tiger because of my birth period. She has the tiger by the tail, and it feels like somebody's got this tiger by the tail. And it's associated with fear or blocks experienced within the nature. She's a symbol of free and liberated spirit that's within each individual. She moves in new directions without fear, new directions that are energizing. Like her sun wand, she wears the Aries crown as a symbol of the pioneering and adventurous spirit that each of us possesses. May not have expressed necessarily, but it's there somewhere. We just gotta keep looking. Okay. The springtime is the season for renewal and new beginnings. And she has placed her old obstructions and fears on the altar and offers it as a spring sacrifice. I love it. She can be totally exposed and defenseless because she has nothing to fear. I love that. And I'm going to be doing a healing hot door video right after this. Well, after the Mayan card reading, find out what the Mayan card, I haven't even looked today. But I'll be doing a healing session as well, because as far as I'm concerned, this is a day of healing. Okay, so if we do all that work, the Princess of Wands, then we can end up as a Prince of Wands. So the Princess of Wands has a tiger by the tail, and the Prince of Wands is riding a chariot that's being pulled by a lion, and I think he might also be wearing a lion's helmet, but we'll see. Prince of Wands is the mastery of unlimited creative expression that is totally inspired from deep within, the deep self. And if you haven't done it yet, might be a good time to say, I connect with my deep self. Go into that place of peace. And I'll be working with that deep self when I'm releasing all these obstacles and obstructions that the darn Princess of Wands brought into my consciousness today, or somebody brought in. The reins are casually thrown over the prince's hand as a symbol of inspired creativity that is not held back and is free to powerfully express itself. The prince in this way demonstrates itself trust in letting the creative process flow and not restrict it or restrain it. So all those obstacles and obstructions, I wonder where they come from. You know about that head tapping? If you don't, you can look it up. The prince demonstrates self-trust in letting the creative process flow and not restrict it or restrain it in any way. There is focus, concentration, and attention to manifest one's creativity, which is shown by the contained fire within the chariot. I love it. His phoenix wand and cape, he is committed to growing, expanding, and transforming himself through the creative process. Okay. That's great. Oh, we did get the bonus card, and I like the bonus card as well. So we'll go and look for the Four of Swords. I marked it, but still sometimes hard to find. This was the bonus card, and it's the Four of Swords, which is truce, which is another word I like. I like virtue. I like virtue signaling, and I like truce, and a lot of other things. So the Four of Swords is the negotiating mind, the conflict resolution mind, or the mediating mind. In order for any kind of negotiation to be successful, one must be open and flexible like the sign Jupiter at the top of this card, and committed to staying in balance, and non-positional, which is represented by the sign of Libra at the bottom of this card. The truce-making process is a fourfold process, which is represented by the Four Swords, and also the four tiers of the lotus blossom. The fourfold process is truth that is experienced on all four levels of consciousness: mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, which is also represented by integrating the four swords in the four tiers of the lotus blossom. Truce is an opportunity to move through conflictual issues, which is represented by all the webbing in the background of the card and the states of complexity that need to be resolved. In order for negotiations or conflict resolution to be successful, there are four peaceful principles that come from native traditions, which is referred to as the fourfold way. In order for truce to be experienced, one must first show up. Second, pay attention. Third, tell the truth. And fourth, not be attached to outcomes. These are really good. You might want to think that you're going to be having a test and what are the correct answers. So, what are the four peaceful principles that come from native traditions, which is referred to as the fourfold way? In order for truth to be experienced, one must first show up. Second, pay attention. Third, tell the truth. Fourth, not be attached to outcomes. That's beautiful. That's all. Have whatever day you can manage to have. Let go as much as you can manage to let go of, and be yourself. Now let's go.